So what would you guys be doing here with ace deuce? We flat in the big blind and under the gun checks big blind button bets 2/3, 3/4. I think most of us would intuitively call in game once, like, you have top here. But obviously I've been doing a lot of multi-way studying, so I know it's a fold. And you'd be surprised how much ace-x, let's scale it a bit like this, you're supposed to fold here. You see like these lower aces already folding, ace-5 off is folding. Yeah, it's absolutely insane if we look at the kind of hands we're already folding here, right? And this is what most people don't understand. They assume, oh, we make a top here, we have to call once. And if we go into the strategy and look into our opponent's betting range here, you can see that he's supposed to have a lot of very unnatural bluffs, right? Like king 6, 7-5, which I don't think people are going to find here, right? A little bit of pocket 4s, pocket 3s. So obviously the big sizing isn't happening that much, but when it happens, it's supposed to be hands. If someone wants to take a stab and just fold out hands, they just naturally bet a third or bet a quarter, right? Even for the 1/3, you find a lot of hands that I think are not very realistic. And by the way, it's going to be the same when under the gun bets big sizing. It's going to be a lot of hands that are king 7s and king 8s and these kind of hands here. But we still have a player behind, right? So when I think a lot of you guys might have a very bad feeling here already, and I think your gut is more often right than you think. So it's totally fine here to let this one go and just fold, and we can practice a couple more other hands. I think, wow, even jack 8, very, very interesting. And this is also something that is super important to understand in poker is you see that, for example, 8-3 suited here is better than calling jack 8, right? Because the jack, the 10-9 improves, the ace jack improves. So we see here the calling point is around 1 BB. And let's have a look at queen 8. It's actually less than EV, right? Because very often if he has ace queen, we improve to queen 8, boom, we lose the entire stack. But if we have 8-3 suited, and we hit the 3, we're going to be stacking ace king, ace queen. So that is reflected here in the EV. Queen jack, obviously an easy fold. But now we can look into, all right, what's our strategy here if there's a big bet and a call? And you see we're basically just folding everything. Like we continue with the 2 pairs, the straight draw sets 2 pairs. I wouldn't raise 6-5 ever here because, again, they're not going to have the hands that will bet fold like a king 7 in this node. So you just want to just fold it, right? Or just call, sorry. And you see like the ace 5 is basically break even, and in reality it's going to be losing. Like this is a spot where you really just want to continue 2 pairs and straight draws. We can have a look here under the guns betting range, or betting this sizing. So UTG, let's have a look. Yeah, you see king 7, 9-8, 7-6, ace, even ace deuce basically starts bluffing here. Ace deuce blocks some good 2 pairs and also folding out a 9-8 in diamonds, has a lot of equity. So ace deuce wants to start betting big. Queen jacks, queen 10s, jack 10s, jack 9s. I think a lot of people just bet a third or check it, and finding these sophisticated big sizings here 11% of the time is just not going to happen. So yeah, that's why I think here massively overfolding on this board. And you see it. Like, listen guys, if I would notebook this and make it more realistic, it would give you basically the red marked hands as your continuing range. That's it. You fold ace 9, you fold ace 10. You see it for yourself. It already wants to fold ace 9, ace 10, even though our opponent is having those bluffs in the range. So yeah, very easy to fold. Oh, actually, we continue this. This is surprising to me. I would not continue this, but maybe just hitting the 6 and it's going to be good enough, or having some hands we can bluff if there's a 6 or 9 and goes check, check, I guess. But you also see how bad the jack 8s, jack 7s are. 10-8s, 10-7s, just doesn't like it at all. being dominated by better 8x or better 7x. King 8, I would guess we also just fold. Maybe we call something like 8-6 and diamonds, if even. Let's see, 8-6 diamonds. But again, like we really want him to have these weird bluffs that he's gonna give up with on later streets, which is very often not the case. So we can just sketch it. And as you can see now in a few minutes, we covered a lot of these very difficult to play ace-high boards and multi-way pots. And we can move over to, let's go Queen Jack 10, and this time a little bit later position, or different positions, different boards. But I think Queen Jack 10 is also a really good board to practice. Ace 9, we actually have a little bit of leading. Yeah, no, it's just, yeah, also fold. And you see here, obviously here continuing with something like Queen 5 on hearts would be completely torching. But you also see Jack 9. You even see Queen 9 is basically break even. Actually losing with when you don't have the backdoor flush draw. I mean, overall, all of the Queen 9 suited in all of their suits going to be break even, because some of them are going to be plus EV if you have the backdoor flush draw, and if you don't have it, it's minus EV. Right? You Jack 9. I think some of you, yeah, we have a pair straight draw, right? Because if you have Jack 9, there is someone going to have a king here. Like ace king, bluffing with a king, you might already be drawing that. So your Jack 9 isn't looking that great. Did I now? No, I did not. So let's have a look into against one bet. Obviously ace 2 is a fold, but you even see here, one big bet, fold. We fold every single queen. And especially these Broadway or ace high middling boards, we covered 2 different boards now. How much you have learned, how many leaks we have fixed in just a few minutes. And flop is so important because that's where most of the mistakes happen. If you remove those, you're going to be fine on turn and rivers because your range is going to be strong. It's going to be so much easier to play. 80-90% of your win rate comes from your flop strategy. Even Jack 9 is very close here. Actually, again, Jack 9, you might think Jack 9 in clubs is an easy call. No, look at that. It's losing against a sophisticated cutoff GTO strategy. Let's have a look. What is cutoff supposed to do here? This is button, this is cutoff. Again, the dark red is the big sizing. Obviously the king highs. Again, like it makes no sense. Right? Like people bet a third with the king 8 off, or they check it, or a king 6, or an ace 4, ace 3. And you see there isn't even a lot of ace king in the big sizing. There isn't even a lot of king queen or queens or jacks. Not even like any jacks at all. You can be sure that if people have big sizings here, it's going to be those value hands and less of these bluffs. We have had multiple study streams, and I was telling you now for the past months, guys, I'm focusing on multi-way, and I'm having so much more deep runs because I for sure save so many stacks in these multi-way scenarios, saving those 5 big blinds here, 7 big blinds there, and then he bets half pot turn and you call again, and then suddenly you lost 15 big blinds. Wow. I mean, this is again break even, right? Against a very tiny sizing, a quarter here with the backdoor flush draw. These hands are indifferent. When the sizing become very, very small, obviously we start calling more, right? If he would bet a quarter and button calls a quarter, then obviously we would also start folding more. This is, for example, a very interesting spot. I mean, I would call once, but again, you see when it starts folding 12% of the time, it means it's very, very marginal, right? And you see a quarter bet and a call, folds any jacks, starts folding the queen X without backdoor flush draw, and it's just not good anymore. Folding is the king here when there's a bet and a call, or there's one big bet. As a rule of thumb, if there's a big bet and a call of the big bet, you've seen mostly 80-90% of our continues gonna be 2 pairs straights that we raise and get the money in, or if we have a strong draw, we call once because we have massive implied odds. Now, in our library now, you can go through lots of different scenarios, different boards, positions, king high, different ace high boards, paired boards, low boards, middling boards, connected boards, and just practice the scenarios and start fixing those leaks. This is for 40 big blinds. We're going to be adding more stack sizes as well. but this will already give you a very good understanding of Multiway. Just practicing drilling this for a couple of days, and you're gonna be one of the best Multiway players on your stakes. We've also added a new blind versus blind section, and after watching the video, you will see a trainer up here. So attached to those videos, and they're also going to be added to the other videos, and you will already find this, it gives you spots to practice. So here we're combining theory with practice, and you can start practicing and drilling those spots, whether it's a limb pot, whether it's a raised pot, and so on and so forth. You have different levels here on the left for the blind versus blind fundamentals with different actions. An ISO raise pot, you raise from the small blind. I guess we still call it. Again, you can navigate through the notes. You can also look into the reports to see, all right, what are actually the boards where we want to bet the most, check the most. If we, for example, take this Jack 10-10 board, right? But if you're interested, okay, what are the boards where we do very little checking? For example, you see here King Jack 6, Ace Queen 8. We do a lot of betting, and then the more we get to the lower boards, we start checking more and more, especially when there's too low cards, because it connects with big blind's check back range, right? If we check and the board comes whatever 4-3, whatever 3 deuce, it's always really, really bad. Also these 10-9 deuce boards, because it also connects very well with the big blind check back range, right? He's going to check back a lot of 10-8, Jack 9, 10-7, 9-8 kind of hands, also a little bit of Queen Jack, Queen 8 kind of hands. So it always connects pretty well with big blind's check back range. The deuce additionally gives him a pair with all the 7 deuce off. So there's a lot of logic behind, and these reports can help to identify our general approach, right? The basic theory. Don't try to learn these numbers. Just try to the way I do it. Why we're doing certain things. So yeah, you can go through different boards, and this is I find a feature that is very, very helpful and pairs the theory with practice. Don't forget to check out the post-flop rocket, the most 12 money-making situations for post-flop, especially for part-time players. If you don't have a lot of time, here it's a mini course in the champions tier where I teach you all these exploits for post-flop that you can implement right away, and within a week you can boost your win rate tremendously. They're quick, short videos. 10-15 minutes, sometimes 20 minutes, but it's not hours of content. And we go through multi-way, double barreling, 3-bet pots, c-betting, etc., blind versus blind, and I'm teaching you the things you can do, you can implement right away that will boost your win rate. And obviously the most valuable section, the live sessions. All my final tables, live sessions over the last couple of months. More sessions are being added. My recent GG Masters won the entire final table and breaking it down, how I approach it, every single hand. The 10K final tables, the live sessions are also being added here, which is obviously the most popular section of the champions tier. And last but not least, one of the most important things to do are the ICM situations. And here, again, it's not a solver. You can't solve any situations. It's a practice tool where you can practice scenarios. Sometimes it's Chippy, sometimes it's ICM, but especially for final tables or money bubble situations, just do it every day. Take a final table, for example, this one, hit the train ranges and practice those scenarios. This is gold. This is going to improve your game so much. And just always review your response versus villain's response. This is how I practice every single final table. This is how I prepare. I go through it. I even record my preparation sessions, and you always assess for yourself, right? Is it realistic or not? But it gives you a good understanding here how to approach these critical final table situations. And you see here, in such a short period of time, you get so many reps in, and you get the live feedback on all of the ranges in play. Also here, what is under the gun supposed to 3-bet, and based on that you can make a decision. Always Jack 6 suited is a fold, but you know, these spots can occur. What are you going to do with 10s? What are you going to do with jacks? What are you going to do with queens, right? And you see here, we actually have a little bit of a calling range. It's really, really interesting. I've seen this quite a bit because I mean, technically under the gun 2 range is very face up, right? Like aces, kings, and then a random ace. We see that here, right? Aces, kings, queens, a little bit of ace, king, ace, queen off as a bluff. So for some people it's ace 5 suited, but again, you can narrow the range down. You may be down by a hand or two, or you're off by a hand or two. Ace queen suited here, nasty spot, right? But I guess we just fold. We call a little bit, but again, question is here, can this guy versus, what is it, UDG2 and MP, find these bluffs, right? King 6 suited, ace 4 suited. I mean, the value range is very narrow. And that's the thing. It's also, this is a spot where a lot of players can be very out of line and some players are never bluffing. This is very player dependent. Per default, I would fold ace queen suited here. Queens, I would just jam, or we even call quite often. So as you can see, right, the gist here, get a lot of practice in, get a lot of reps in. You can do it for money bubbles, practice these scenarios. And again, 5-10 minutes a day, it's not difficult. It tracks your score, it tracks your leagues. So you can also go into your dashboard and then keep working on the spots that you keep messing up. You also find the other content here, the bounty course, the mindset course, the range viewer that I personally crafted, edited, and keep updating your leagues, daily drills that you can do additionally, and also the live poker section. Don't forget, guys, May 5th, I'm going to be hosting an online bootcamp. It's going to be live. You can come and ask your questions 7 days, every single day, different topic, Multiway, final table exploits, money bubble exploits, early game adjustments for pre-flop, and also going to be reviewing my $150 GG master score for $140,000, where I beat 7,200 players. Exactly the perfect tournament that's going to be happening now throughout the entire summer. Big field, lots of runners, big guarantee. So we're going to be going through a lot of the spots of the way I approach certain situations and giving you a lot of advice how to crush those players. It's going to be recorded in case you miss it. You get the recording. Also, if you join the annual champions tier, you're going to save $499, $500 basically. If you don't want to join the champions tier, you can still purchase the weekly pass to get a full access, or a daily pass for $99. You can choose whatever day to join. And again, if you don't make it, you get the recording. So everyone part of the champions tier during that period gets free access, or if you join before, then you also get free access and you save $500. That's our spring promotion. It's going to be a $500 gift for you for that bootcamp. I could have easily charged for it and made it a paid event for everyone. No, that's the value you get joining the champions tier. So this time, only this time, we're going to give you a $500 gift, which we have never done before. And as you've seen in this video, most of my sales pitches are having a lot more value than most of the paid stuff out there. So if that's already packed with value, imagine what you're going to get in the bootcamp, what you're getting in the champions tier. I don't know what else to do, guys, to improve you every single week. I want to help you to learn realistic poker. This is what I enjoy. I already made a lot of money, but I still want to provide good content, good value. And yes, it's costing a lot of money because I know that this shit works. Or keep trying on your own. Again, I don't know what else to do. Get your ass up, come to that bootcamp, or at least take my free course. It's free. There's no excuse to not get better at poker. So again, you find all the links below. Let's get this shit going. Let's have some insane scores in Deep Run this summer. I'm incredibly excited to crush some noobs, to bring them to Value Town and show them who is gonna be executing those razor sharp value bets. I see you guys in the bootcamp, and then stay strong, champs.